I thank the ranking member for his remarks. I could not agree more that we have a path forward. We've been conducting investigation. We today have found out a lot of things that have given us guidance on things that we may need to correct. And I have the same concern, whether something is zoonotic or whether it's manufactured within a lab. How are we going to be prepared? How can we predict it? How can we prevent it? How can we keep the American people safe, and for that matter, people around the globe? But the purpose of today's hearing was to have a transparent examination of EcoHealth Alliance's President, Dr. Peter Daszak, given the extensive evidence of their role in gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, as well as getting a better understanding of the grant process and the oversight or lack thereof. Because Congress has a responsibility to ensure American taxpayer dollars are spent in accordance with the law and that rigorous oversight is applied to the entities that receive these funds. And as chairman of this select subcommittee, I'm committed to doing just that. We have identified serious issues with EcoHealth for the public to witness here today, such as failing to disclose competing interests, efforts to conceal where information originated from, and other significant reporting failures. I want to stress this investigation is not over. And Dr. Daszak, we are not throwing the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to advances in scientific research. That is not the purpose. Everyone on here, on this subcommittee, supports good research. This, however, has not been good research. This subcommittee has spent time with the World Organization of Animal Health. You talk about infections through the zoonotic community and possibly jumping to the human community. We have concerns with that. We went and visited with Dr. Tedros and the WHO. We are concerned about global health. We're not trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I agree that it's nice if you can do work in the country where the greatest risk is, and we can do the surveillance there. But the problem is, if you're in a country that is not trustable and not accountable and non-cooperative with the WHO, in this case, we have a problem. And that's not where you should be. You can be near there. There may be some countries near there where we can do the same research with trustable and accountable scientists. That is, I think, an important lesson that we have learned here. And you talk about, oh, this is research that's really important. I'm not saying it's not, but I'll tell you, there's a difference between this type of research and research that I see in my journals about bone growth or orthopedic repairs, or this is not research on a cure for cancer that benefits all people. This is dangerous, risky research, and everyone involved with that I know of has stated that at one point in their life or other. So we cannot just blindly trust the scientists just because they're scientists. They're scientists in China, a country that is an adversary to the United States of America. And especially when they're not forthcoming and honest when working to go forward. And when doing this to secure a federal grant and fail to do the important work to satisfy the terms of the grant, that's a problem. As we pointed out in our report and heard today, hiding behind different definitions of gain of function to deny your role in conducting dangerous gain of research at the WIV will not prevent us from conducting oversight and holding people accountable. You know, semantics doesn't change the risks involved. The semantics that we're hearing about today, the different definitions of gain-of-function research, just seems to define the different levels of the risk and the severity of the results. We know that EcoHealth and Dr. Daszak violated the terms of the NIH grant by failing to report the gain-of-function experiment it was conducting. Let's be clear. We know this wasn't a small oversight or a clerical error. This was a dangerous experiment that was conducted and not reported. And this was not the only occurrence of EcoHealth failing to properly report. Didn't submit the annual research report. We talked about that a lot today. This is not an organization that shows leadership committed to protecting taxpayer funds or conducting research in an appropriate manner as set in the terms of the grant. It's this troubling pattern of behavior that we are seeing, and conduct as well. EcoHealth made misleading statements in an effort to benefit yourself and your organization's financial interests and reputation. Misleading grant application to DARPA. And you downplayed the Chinese involvement in the project. Even though we did learn from the emails produced that your proposal did what you said you wanted to do in private, which is downplay the role of China and the WIV, specifically Dr. Zheng Lishi. You know, you didn't disclose your relationship with the WIV when you published the Lancet letter. And you said that Lancet approved this correspondence. Well, I'll tell you what, we asked Lancet to come in and sit before us. They didn't. Neither did Nature magazine. Science did. They came in. They admitted to some of the things they could maybe do better. So claiming that Lancet approved of it doesn't bear much water in front of this committee right now. I could go on, but I think we've covered just about everything. And I'm glad we have. And I think we've done it in a very thorough fashion, but we're waiting for more. Because while we're trying to be thorough, we don't feel that we have gotten a thorough response. If everything was innocent mistakes, we wouldn't need to send a letter asking for more information and documents by April 4th, on April 4th. Too many mistakes. Accountability taking far too long. But here we are, and we'll continue to conduct oversight and evaluate the evidence surrounding EcoHealth Alliance's research activities. Before I close, I ask unanimous consent to place the report on evaluation of the evidence surrounding EcoHealth Alliance, Inc.'s research activities into the record. With that and without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days within which to submit materials and to submit additional written questions for the witnesses, which will be forwarded to the witnesses for their response. With that and if there's no further business, without objection, the Select Subcommittee stands adjourned.